Welcome to this week's edition of the Bronco Weekly Sports Wrap. I'm Denzel Johnson.
And I'm Nici Gilday. So Denzel, it was a great weekend for the Broncos, who call the Mission Campus home.
That's right, Nici, and we'll start off with baseball, who opened its season at the defending national champion, #1 Vanderbilt, over the weekend. The Broncos left Nashville with a 7-6 victory in Game 1 of their Saturday doubleheader.
It was a great win for the boys, and they battled hard all weekend, with Vizcaino Jr. and Stephen Wilson sweeping WCC Rawlings Player and Pitcher of the Week. EYEBRONCO spoke with head coach Dan O'Brien, Jake Steffens, and Vizcaino about the team's trip to Nashville to start their season.
We were down to our last strike. We were about to beat the defending national champions and the preseason #1 ranked team in the nation, and all I heard was a loud SCU roar from the stands. And when you're tucked in the dugout, you don't typically hear things from the stands, but it was so loud and it was in unison. And we were in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're from Northern California, and I just hear this loud SCU over and over again. That's a goosebump moment right there.
We spend so much time in meetings mentally preparing for battle, talking about the art of war, and Coach O'Brien does a really good job preparing us for lasting that long throughout the day, like maintaining focus throughout the day. So I think we were more prepared than them in terms of the mental battle.
I've never been a part of a game where there was so much momentum shifts, just punching back. They'd score 3 runs, we'd come back and score 1. You know, we would score 1 run, they'd come back and score 3. So just back and forth, kind of I guess the dogfight. It was a blast, though.
The Broncos traveled to UC Davis today before coming home to the Stephen Schott Stadium for their home opener versus Cincinnati at 6 p.m. on Friday.
Men's basketball traveled to the Hilltop, where we lost a tough overtime game to the Dons. We'll be looking to bounce back this weekend in Southern California when we play Pepperdine on Thursday at 6, then LMU on Saturday at 3. Both games can be watched on the W.TV. Nici, you and the women hosted the Dons on Saturday, and I heard you hit a really big shot late in the game.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It took quite a bounce, but it went in, so that was awesome. It was fun for us to get an overtime win like that and close out such a close game. A lot of our freshmen really stepped up. Morgan McGuire was huge on the boards, and she hit a big shot for us to send us into overtime. And Taylor Berry was amazing on the boards as usual, so it was a really good win for us. EYEBRONCO spoke with Coach Payne and freshman Taylor Berry after the game.
So much grit and just fight in this group. I think we've been in this position so many times that I think we decided we were not going to allow it to go the other way again. But one thing that was really different was great execution.
It was fun. It was exciting. It was great to have the home crowd on the east side, and really cherished it.
It was so fun, and to have the team executing the way that we were defending, and then a couple big playmakers down the stretch, it was really fun.
We stay at home to face Pepperdine on Thursday at 7, and then LMU on Saturday at 2 for Senior Day.
Softball played in the Fresno State Bulldogs Invitational and picked up a win versus Sacramento State. Their 4 losses were by a combined 5 runs, with 1 coming in extra innings. They'll return home this Friday at 5:30 versus Seattle for the Bronco Classic. Make sure you head out to the softball stadium and support the team.
Women's water polo picked up 2 wins at home this Sunday versus Cal Lutheran and Sonoma State. EYEBRONCO stopped by the Sullivan Aquatic Center to talk to the team about their wins.
So this past week we've been working a lot on shot blocking, and I think that really showed in our stats this weekend and when I was playing, because they were funneling the ball right to me, which was a lot easier for me to block those really hard shots. I think it was really good because everybody got to play, and so a lot of the players who don't get to play that often got some key playing time and more experience. And I think these 2 games were a big stepping stone to what's going to be coming up this weekend against Indiana and East Bay.
The team returns to the Sullivan Aquatic Center this Saturday at 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. versus Indiana and Cal State East Bay.
After a second-place finish at the Matador Invitational, women's golf hits the links again this Monday and Tuesday at the San Jose State Julie Inkster Invitational right here in our backyard in the South Bay.
The men's tennis team rallied from a 3-point deficit to a 4-3 win over Fresno State last Saturday. EYEBRONCO caught up with Sam Bertram to talk about the victory.
I'm pretty proud of the boys. I always say that, but I am. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know how they were going to feel. I mean, I always know that I'm going to fight hard, but it's a tough task for everyone to do so. But yeah, really proud of them. They put their head down and knew what they had to do and really came through.
Well, I mean, it's hard to, we had a 2-match lose streak, so it was hard to like to focus. We lost the doubles point, so we thought like, oh, it's a third match. It was hard, but like I think we came out strong, mentally, because we're like focused throughout the points. Everybody was like focused, especially like top 4 guys of the lineup. So it's pretty good like result for us.
The Broncos hit the road for 2 matchups in Oregon. They play Nebraska on Friday and the Ducks on Saturday.
Women's tennis also played Fresno State, but were unable to come away with a victory. They stay home to play Wichita State on Thursday at 2, then head to the Central Coast to play Oregon on Saturday and UC Santa Barbara on Sunday.
Men's golf opens its spring season at the Waialua Golf Club in the John A. Burns Intercollegiate starting Wednesday. Best of luck to the team as they kickstart their spring season.
Bronco track competed in the first indoor meet in program history at the Husky Classic in Seattle. 5 runners split times in the 3,000 and 5,000 meter races. Next up, they have the West Coast Invitational Relays in Orinda. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Bronco Weekly Sports Wrap.
And take a look to see what EYEBRONCO has put together over the past week. Go Broncos.
But at the end of the day, if you want to talk about the regionals, if you want to talk about Omaha, you need to get out there and compete against the best programs in the country. So we open up in Nashville on Friday. We're ecstatic about it. As soon as we saw them making their run, we were pulling pretty hard for them.
It was a build-up, and so much hard work and stuff has kind of gone backstage, and finally when we did play, I think we're really happy with our performance. I think maybe it doesn't show with the win-losses, but I think our team right now is in a really good place.
We played good baseball, and we're going to play better baseball, and we'll work hard in practice on that when we're out there on the field for 2-3 hours a day.